Imagine a world illuminated by flickering candlelight, where the soft glow of candles was the primary source of light after the sun had set, and warmed by crackling fires that provided not just heat, but a central gathering place for families and communities. This was the medieval era, a period spanning roughly from the 5th to the 15th centuries. It was a time of great change and development, marked by the rise and fall of empires, the spread of religions, and the evolution of art and culture. Castles loomed large, their stone walls echoing with the sounds of a society dominated by men. These fortresses were not just homes for the nobility, but also symbols of power and protection in a world often fraught with conflict. In this world, men held the reins of power. They were the rulers, the warriors, and the decision-makers, shaping the course of history through their actions and decisions. They were the kings, the knights, the lawmakers, and the landholders. Their roles were clearly defined, and their influence was felt in every aspect of medieval life, from the battlefield to the council chamber. Women, for the most part, occupied a sphere defined by their relationship to men as daughters, wives, or widows. Their lives were often constrained by societal expectations and norms, yet they found ways to navigate and influence the world around them. Their lives were a tapestry woven with expectations and limitations, yet also threads of strength, resilience, and quiet influence. Women worked tirelessly, managing households, raising children, and contributing to the economy through various trades and crafts. This is the story of women in the medieval period, a glimpse into their daily lives, their struggles, and their contributions to a world that often seemed designed for men. Despite the challenges they faced, medieval women played crucial roles in their communities, often behind the scenes but always essential. Join us as we journey back in time to uncover their stories. Through their resilience and determination, these women left an indelible mark on history, and their stories deserve to be told and remembered. For the vast majority of medieval women, life revolved around the home. Their days were filled with a myriad of tasks that were essential for the survival and well-being of their families. Unlike today, where household chores might be seen as mundane or secondary, in medieval times these tasks were of paramount importance and required a great deal of skill and effort. Theirs was the responsibility of transforming a house into a home, creating a space that was not only functional but also comforting and welcoming. This transformation was not a one-time event, but an ongoing process that demanded constant attention and care, a task that encompassed a never-ending cycle of chores. From cleaning and organizing to repairing and maintaining, the work was relentless. Each day brought new challenges and tasks that had to be completed to keep the household running smoothly. From dawn till dusk, their hands were busy spinning wool, weaving cloth, and creating the very fabric of their lives. These activities were not just about producing goods, but were also a form of art and expression, showcasing the skill and creativity of the women who performed them. Baking bread, brewing ale, and tending to children were daily rituals that required precision and care. Each task was a vital part of the household economy, contributing to the sustenance and comfort of the family. The aroma of freshly baked bread and the warmth of a well-tended hearth were symbols of a well-managed home. A medieval home was rarely a place of leisure. It was a workshop, a nursery, and often a place of business. The lines between domestic and economic activities were blurred, as the women often engaged in small-scale production and trade from their homes. Women worked tirelessly to feed and clothe their families, their efforts extending beyond the immediate household to the broader community. They might sell surplus goods, barter for necessities, or provide services to neighbors, all while managing their own homes. Women worked tirelessly to feed and clothe their families, their days a blur of activity, often carried out amidst the presence of children and the demands of a husband. The kitchen was a hub of activity, where meals were prepared from scratch using ingredients that were often grown or produced by the family. Their days a blur of activity, often carried out amidst the presence of children and the demands of a husband. Multitasking was a necessity as women balanced the needs of their children with the endless list of chores that needed to be done. And amidst the daily grind, there were always children to care for. Large families were common, and mothers bore the brunt of raising them. The care of children was a full-time job in itself, requiring patience, love, and a great deal of energy. And mothers bore the brunt of raising them, often with little to no help from fathers. The role of the father was typically more focused on external affairs, leaving the mother to manage the household and the children almost single-handedly, often with little to no help from fathers. From swaddling infants to soothing their cries, mothers were the primary caregivers. The bond between mother and child was strong, forged through countless hours of care and attention. To teaching young girls the skills they would need to run a household, mothers played a crucial role in passing down knowledge and traditions. These skills were essential for the survival of future generations and were taught from a young age. Motherhood was a constant presence in a medieval woman's life. It was a role that defined them, shaped their daily routines, and connected them to the generations that came before and after. The legacy of these women lives on in the traditions and skills they passed down, a testament to their strength, resilience, and unwavering dedication to their families. While the home was the primary domain of most medieval women, their labor extended beyond its walls. They were not confined to the domestic sphere. Instead, they played a crucial role in the agricultural economy. Their contributions were vital to the survival and prosperity of their families and communities. In rural communities, women worked alongside their husbands and families in the fields, their lives intricately entwined with the rhythms of the agricultural calendar. They rose with the sun and labored until dusk, their efforts ensuring that the fields were plowed, planted, and harvested in time. The agricultural calendar dictated their lives, with each season bringing its own set of tasks and challenges. From sowing seeds to harvesting crops, women participated in all aspects of agricultural life. They were involved in the planting of grains, vegetables, and herbs, and they took part in the harvest, gathering the fruits of their labor. Their knowledge of the land and the crops was extensive, passed down through generations. They bent their backs under the weight of heavy baskets, their hands roughened by the sun and soil. The physical demands of their work were immense, yet they persevered, driven by the necessity of providing for their families. The tools they used were simple, but their skill and endurance were remarkable. Their days were long and arduous, their bodies often weary from the relentless toil. Despite the exhaustion, they found the strength to continue, knowing that their labor was essential. The work was not just a means of survival, it was a testament to their resilience and determination. Yet there was a camaraderie in shared labor, a sense of purpose in providing sustenance for their families and communities. Working side by side, they formed bonds of friendship and mutual support. The fields were not just places of labor, they were spaces where relationships were forged and strengthened. The land, with all its hardships, also offered a sense of connection and belonging. It was a source of identity and pride, a place where they could see the tangible results of their hard work. The cycles of planting and harvest were a reminder of the continuity of life and the enduring bond between people and the earth. It was a bond that transcended gender roles, uniting men and women in the shared endeavor of survival. In the fields, everyone's contribution was valued, and the lines between male and female roles often blurred. Together, they faced the challenges of the seasons, the uncertainties of the weather, and the demands of the land, finding strength in their unity and shared purpose. Section 4. Ladies of the Manor, Noble Women and Their Roles. Life for women of noble birth differed significantly from that of their peasant counterparts. While they were not exempt from the expectations of marriage and motherhood, their lives unfolded within the opulent walls of castles and manors. Noble women were responsible for the smooth running of large households, often overseeing a retinue of servants and managing complex estates. They were mistresses of their domains, their days filled with tasks that ranged from supervising meals to organizing elaborate feasts and entertainments. Education was considered important for noble women, though their studies focused on subjects deemed suitable for their station. Needlework, music, dancing, and perhaps a smattering of literature and history. Their lives were a delicate dance between duty and leisure, their every move dictated by the demands of their social standing. Section 5. Bound by law, legal constraints on medieval women. Medieval society placed numerous legal restrictions on women, limiting their agency and autonomy. Under the prevailing legal systems, women were largely considered the property of their fathers or husbands, their lives governed by men. Women had limited property rights. Upon marriage, a woman's property typically became her husband's, and she had little control over its management or disposal. Widows, however, sometimes enjoyed greater economic independence, especially if they inherited their husband's estates. Similarly, women had limited legal recourse. They could not sue in court independently and relied on men to represent their interests. Their testimony in legal matters was often discounted, deemed less reliable than that of men. The law, in essence, reflected and reinforced the patriarchal structure of medieval society.